You ever stand by the coffee machine, stare into your mug, and think, please don't talk to me, please don't talk to me. Or worse, please do talk to me, so this isn't awkward. Yeah, office small talk. It's kind of like flossing your teeth. Nobody loves it, but it prevents a lot of problems later. And just like tying a bow tie, small talk takes a little bit of practice. You know, if you pull it too tight, it feels forced. Too loose, and the whole thing falls apart. But get the rhythm right, and suddenly you're connecting with people, not just surviving the workday. So, here's the secret. Small talk isn't about being interesting. It's about being interested. Ask a friendly question, share a small detail, and boom, you are in a conversation. Stick around, because today we're going to turn those awkward moments into easy conversations that build real connections. Plus, don't miss the Mastery Minute at the end. We've got a fun idiom that actually fits this topic perfectly. And if you've got a question about small talk or something you'd like help phrasing, drop it in the chat. I'll answer a few live at the end of the show. So, let me tell you about Haruto. Haruto, smart guy, got a job at a global tech firm, fluent in English. But every Monday morning, he was silent. He told me, I just don't know what to say when everyone is talking about their weekends. So he just smiled and nodded. The problem was his coworkers thought he was cold or shy, when really he just didn't know how to join in. So we worked on 3 small things: asking simple questions, sharing short stories, and using friendly openers. 2 weeks later, his manager said, I don't know what changed, but the team's really warming up to you. So, what did change? Let's break it down. So, why does small talk matter? Small talk isn't about being clever. It's about being curious and friendly. And in the workplace, it builds trust. It makes people feel seen. But I get it. Sometimes it's hard to know how to start. You're worried about sounding awkward, or maybe your mind just goes dark. That's why today I'm going to give you 3 practical tools, some go-to moves that work even if you're shy, new on the team, or not feeling super confident in English. So let's look at 3 ways that we can master small talk in English, especially if you're not sure what to say. Now, these are easy and natural, and you can try one of them today. Or tomorrow, if you gotta go to work tomorrow. So, tip number 1. Let's get in with tip number 1. Use what's right in front of you. Really, use what's there. Coffee? The weather? A meeting that just ended? That's your doorway. So let me paint the picture for you. You walk into the break room, someone's standing by the machine pouring a cup of coffee. You grab your cup, take a sip, and say with half a smile, is this coffee always this strong, or is it just a Monday thing? And boom, you've opened the door. Or you're both walking out of a freezing conference room, you rub your arms and say, whew, feels like the AC's on Arctic mode today, huh? And just like that, you're not strangers anymore. Or maybe you're heading back from a long team meeting. You turn to a colleague and chuckle. Whew, that was a long one. Do they always go that long here? So these comments are light. They're observational and low pressure. You're not asking anyone to reveal their life story. You're just noticing the moment and using it. And those small moments, they're the start of real connections. That's how you get those little conversations started. Okay, tip number 2. Asking easy questions. People love to talk about themselves, so give them a chance. Picture this. You're walking toward the elevator with a colleague. You don't know him very well, so you smile and say, Got any fun plans for this weekend? They chuckle and say, well, if chasing my kids around a soccer field counts as fun, then yes. So there you go. Suddenly you've got something to work with. You can follow up with. You could say, how old are your kids? Or do you coach the team too? See, you've got things that will keep that conversation fueled. Or maybe you're in the lunchroom and you say, what do you usually do for lunch around here? I'm still trying to find the good spots. Or you've just asked a friendly, easy question and maybe even gotten a food recommendation out of it. You could ask about their work history. Even a simple, how long have you worked here, can lead to shared experiences, advice, or a laugh about your mutual first week. Simple questions, easy answers, but the results are big. Tip number 3, and this ties into ties into Monday's episode where we talked about storytelling. Share a tiny story. You let people know that you're human too. You don't need a speech, just a sentence or two that adds a little flavor. For example, imagine you're chatting before a meeting starts. You say, I tried a new restaurant over the weekend. I ate way too much. Oh, I was so full. Someone across the table might chime in and say, oh yeah? Where? And boom, now you're swapping food recommendations. Or you're waiting for the elevator and say, oh, my dog woke me up at 5 a.m. today. He thinks he's my alarm clock. Suddenly the person next to you smiles and says, oh, mine too, except it's a cat, and she screams. So these tiny stories give people something to respond to. They're quick, they're real, and relatable. You're not trying to impress, just connect with people. And that is the magic of small talk. So, let's go over a few phrases that keep the conversation going. Let's say you've started a conversation. Now what? You don't want it to just die after one awkward sentence, right? And so that's where these little phrases come in. So remember, begin with the setting that you're in. Ask easy questions. It gives them a chance to share with you. Share tiny stories. And then we use these little phrases to keep it going. We call them connector phrases. And keep these little phrases in your back pocket because they're like the jumper cables for a conversation. And they'll help you glide through small talk like a pro. So, to show interest, you can use phrases like, oh, really? That sounds fun. This is a classic. You don't have to be impressed, just engaged. How about this one? Oh, no way. What happened next? That helps you to say, I'm listening. Keep going. Oh, I've never done that before. What was it like? So admit curiosity, because people love explaining things. They love talking about their experiences. Now, if you want to move the conversation forward, you could say, by the way, do you usually join the Friday team lunches? It's a gentle nudge onto the next topic. Oops. Oh, we're getting ahead of myself. Or you could say, have you always worked in this department? And suddenly you're learning about their journey, maybe making a friend, possibly. And if you want to exit gracefully, everybody's always looking, how do I get out of this? Maybe the conversation isn't going well, but you still want to be polite. So exiting gracefully, you try something like, ooh, anyway, great conversation. I'd better get back to it. Really good chatting with you. So that's friendly, but not awkward. Let's catch up again later. Nice talking to you. This keeps the door open for future, further conversations. So, you see, you don't need a script. You just need a few phrases to steer the conversation in the direction you want it to go. A little curiosity, a little warmth, and you're golden. So, the challenge for today. Start one small conversation this week. Use the coffee machine, the elevator, a break between meetings. Just one opener. Then listen. Be curious. See what happens. And hey, if you've got a question about small talk, or if you want help with a specific phrase, drop it in the chat. I will answer any question you have right after the Mastery Minute, which is coming up. So, if today's episode gave you a new phrase to try, I want you to hit the like button, share it with a friend, and don't forget to check out the full article at allaboutenglishmastery.com. You can also check the link in the description down below. And hey, while you're there, sign up for the free newsletter to keep improving your English every week. All right. You know what time it is. Now it's time for the Mastery Minute. And today's idiom is a new one. It's called chew the fat. Chew the fat. That's really a real English expression. Chew the fat. And no, it has nothing to do with food. To chew the fat means to have a long, casual conversation, usually about nothing very serious. Now, where did that come from? Some say that it came from sailors who sat around on the deck when they weren't working, literally chewing salted pork. Other people think it comes from old-timey country folk chatting on their front porches while chewing on, you guessed it, fatty snacks. Either way, it's about relaxing and talking with others. So, next time someone says, let's go chew the fat, they're not inviting you to lunch. They just want to talk. And who knows, a little fat chewing might lead to stronger friendships and better teamwork. Try it this week. Find someone in the break room and start a light chat. Go ahead, give it a shot. Chew the fat with somebody. You're not wasting your time. You're building connections with people. Okay, that's all the time we have for today's show. On Friday night, don't miss Friday night's episode. We're going to look at 5 common English phrases that sound polite, but actually hold you back. So if you want to sound more natural and direct in conversations, you're not going to want to miss this one. And that's a wrap for tonight. I want to thank you for joining me on 15-Minute Mastery. Remember, small talk isn't really small. It's how big relationships start. So get out there, break the ice, and go chew the fat with somebody. I'll see you next time.